Hello and welcome to Mangatora 96, and today we're going to talk about Arifureta Shokugyou de Sekai Saikyou. Today's topic will be a rabbit girl who, despite her meek appearance, isn't a rabbit that you want to mess with, unless you have a death wish. The rabbit girl who went from being called a worthless rabbit to now being called a bucked rabbit and having her family question where this will lead her. But this is a story yet untold. I'm of course talking about Shea. In this video I will cover Shea's personality and some notable relationships she has. But before we start, here's the spoiler warning, as I'll be spoiling a lot of things in this video, so if you don't want to be spoiled, I will highly recommend that you go and read the light novel, as it is an enjoyable read. For everyone else, let's start with who Shea is. Shea is an atavist rabbit man with a unique skill which allows her to view the future, especially when her own life is in danger. She is the daughter of the Haulia tribe chief Haulia. Shea is first seen as having a somewhat self-centered personality. She is usually very noisy and overly optimistic. Her crybaby tendencies led to Hajime and Yue calling her a worthless rabbit. She is one of the more aggressive girls in trying to win over Hajime, as shown by her attacks on Hajime during their travels throughout Tortus. She is also a pervert who loves flirting with Hajime. She is so perverted that she even puts Tio to shame when she constantly watches Hajime and Yue have sex, going to great lengths to do such as hiding under the bed and hiding her presence. She has also on multiple occasions tried to forcibly rape Hajime and sniff his clothes whenever they are done being cleaned, even before being married to him. She constantly tried to sleep with Hajime and showered naked with him. And when Yue finally convinced Hajime to let her sleep with them, she let it go to her head and tried to force him to kiss her despite all their former attempts at rape and molesting failing. None of those traits ever disappeared throughout the story. However, later on she became more mature and calm, getting a lot of confidence from her experience and abilities to the point of overconfidence, where she is blind to how powerful she actually is. Despite that, she still keeps her friendly and cheerful attribute. She also became a sadistic battle maniac that really likes to crush and blow away her opponents. Her hobbies are practicing martial arts and driving. Much like Yue, Shea is very disrespectful towards other men and looks down on them when they try to flirt with her or insult Hajime in any way, as she views those men as disgusting, such as Koki. Aside from Koki, she hates Hiyama and belittled him due to the story she heard from both Hajime and Kauri, especially his abusively perversion towards Kauri, when Shea has no qualms as she watched on piteously when Hajime brutalized and later fed Hiyama to the monsters. After being accepted by Hajime, she starts becoming more shy and self-aware of her flirting in public. At the same time, she became more assertive with the others and is not afraid to put them in their place when they start causing trouble, such as when Yue and Kauri start fighting, although it should be noted that if they wanted to resist, Shea would not be able to stop them with her combat capabilities alone. After completing the trials in the Frost Cavern of Schnee, when Yue started fearing the possibility that something might happen to her and she might not be able to be by Hajime's side, Shea got angry at Yue for thinking such a thing and started attacking her to snap her out of it, something that surprised both Yue and Hajime. Out of all of Hajime's wives, Shea possesses the third strongest will and determination after Hajime himself and Tio. Despite all the horrible things that happen in her life because she was born special, she continues to press forward into the future. This powerful determination is what allows her to win Hajime and Yue's respect, despite the fact they originally didn't want her tagging along with them in the first place. Tio notes that Shea is more deserving to be called a hero than Koki or Hajime, as she is the one with limitless courage. This is being clearly shown by how hard she works to clear the Great Racing Labyrinth with Hajime and Yue, something they both understood. Even the mental trials of future labyrinths couldn't stop her, as was demonstrated when she easily overpowered her doppelganger during the final trial of the Frost Cavern of Schnee, despite her copy taunting her about all the horrible things that happened in her past. As for her past, Shea was part of the Haulia tribe, a clan of rabbitmen. She was hidden by her tribe because she was the only one born with mana, which is considered an abnormality among beastmen and would have resulted in her execution if she was revealed. When Shea was 5 years old, she ventured outside her village and was called a monster by several beastmen that caught a vague glimpse of her. She returned home and cried into the arms of her mother Mona, due to being called a monster. Mona confronted her and told her not to worry what others think of her and that she should only care about what she thinks of herself. She followed up by claiming that Shea would meet some people like her in the future, even hinting at finding a husband. Her mother passed away a year later due to having a weak constitution. After her mana possession was discovered, the entire Haulia tribe was labeled as outcasts by the Beastman nation Perverted. Shea and her family left the Sea of Trees but ran into soldiers from the Holshire Empire who chased them into the Raisin Gorge. Shea then set out on a journey to find Hajime, whom she found with her future side to help save her tribe from slavery. Originally, Shea wasn't physically strong but could use body strengthening magic to increase her physical strength to monstrous level, being around 60% of Hajime's own strength after Yue trained her. Over time, Shea's natural physical strength had grown enough for her to overpower most trained fighters and monsters without using body strengthening. Similarly, her ability to increase her strength has grown even more fearsome, being capable of pulverizing most things into dust with her hammer. She defeated Hurst and 3 of her fellow apostles with her hammer despite being outnumbered. It has gotten to the point where she can even physically restrain Hajime with ease, albeit he does not resist her in the first place, and it has been noted in several chapters that he is more than capable of catching a max strengthening Shea's full power strike with his bare hands, so this is more for comedic effect. Shea was already quite fast to begin with, having to run away from soldiers and monsters before meeting Hajime and Yue. After learning body strengthening, Shea could increase her speed enough to keep up with Hajime and Yue in the Great Raisin Labyrinth, where she further sharpened her reflexes against all of Mildy's traps. Even Hajime's powerful classmates couldn't keep up with Shea on foot. She's grown faster over time to the point where she could keep up with apostles. After accompanying Hajime to Earth, she continues to train herself to the point where she can dodge and even catch normal bullets with little trouble, much to Hajime's charging. While Shea was originally very vulnerable due to being a member of the weakest beastman species, she later became much more durable and more difficult to injure thanks to her body strengthening magic. She is capable of enduring combined elemental attacks from an elite demon squadron. After much battles and training, she was even able to endure US lightning dragons. Albeit Hajime's artifact took most of the damage, so it's debatable whether or not her body is actually capable of withstanding an attack of this caliber. And even though the hammer took most of the damage, she took multiple fatal wounds each time a spell hit her. While she never fought until she met Hajime and Yue, Shea has grown into a highly capable martial artist. She can defeat larger and more experienced opponents with her bare hands. She has shown to be a fast learner when it comes to martial arts, being able to master other people's techniques just from watching them. She has been considered stronger barehanded than when she is wielding a weapon. Shea is especially skilled at wrestling moves, being able to restrain Hajime himself, albeit he does not resist, and Hajime in base form has noted that he can catch a fully strengthened Shea's strike, so this is more for comedic effect. She has also grown highly proficient in wielding her massive warhammer Druken in combat. After 10 days of training with Yue, she was able to put a scratch on the vampire, where she did admit it was a lucky hit on her part. She has continued to improve her mastery of Druken since she started traveling with Hajime and Yue, playing a large part in defeating Mildy's golem. When the demons invaded the Highly Kingdom, Shea single-handedly decimated a majority of Freed's army that consisted of highly skilled demon mages as well as legions of incredibly powerful monsters. Shea's fighting skills eventually reached the point where she can fight a serious Yue on equal footing, shocking Yue and the others with her feats. Alongside Hajime, she could also handle fighting multiple apostles, shocking them at how powerful she was. Unlike normal beastmen, Shea possesses mana and the ability to manipulate it. Her mana has been shown to be incredibly powerful to boot. This is usually displayed by how much she can increase her physical abilities by using body strengthening, as she continues to conquer labyrinths alongside Hajime, her mana has grown incredibly stronger. As for her relationship with Hajime, her husband and the one who saved her and her family from the Emperor's forces that were chasing them. Her tenacity to try and win Hajime's love, coupled with her cheerful personality, is the reason as to why Hajime didn't completely close off his heart where only Yue would have her place in. Now, those two go on dates where they accidentally stumble into an Indiana Jones movie plot or in hell, but despite those hiccups, they manage to make a good date out of it. Shea also managed to create a reverse harem for herself, but she shot those men completely down as Hajime is the only man for her. As for her relationship with Kauri, Shea is initially annoyed with Kauri's inferiority complex when comparing herself with Hajime and the others. After Kauri dies and is willing to get another body in order to become stronger, Shea gains immense respect for her and views her as a role model. As for her relationship with Kosuke, they first met each other at the Adventurers Guild near the Great Orcus Labyrinth. Not much interaction was shown between them until Kosuke won Lana's love. Because of that, Kosuke also got the position of being the Haulia's tribe future chief. This results to Shea having high expectation for him as well as becoming more strict to him. That was further reinforced with how Kosuke was able to conquer the Great Resin Labyrinth all by himself. With this, I covered everything that I wanted to cover on Shea. And that will be all for this video. If you like this video, leave a like, leave your thoughts in the comments below or subscribe to the channel for more manga reviews and One Piece content. And until next time, take care.